That was the introduction of my new project, the articulated dump truck. It's an all-electric truck. It has two motors. It has actuators, also electric. It has full suspension in all wheels, and it has also differential in all the wheels. Now let me tell you some of the features of this truck. I have included in my design a 20 kilogram servo for steering. This allows you to self-center the truck and also turn with precision. And also fine-tuning the servos, so if the truck is steering more to one side than the other one, you can fine-tune that in your remote control. I designed the lights to not buy any additional lights. So you can 3D print all your lights and then put inside LEDs, normal size or SMD LEDs, and you have all the lights to scale on the truck like the real one. The cover of the engine tilts to the front, and it allows you to have easy access to all the electronic components. The design also includes a tilting gate. So when you dump the dirt, it will open the gate, and then when you put it back, it will close the gate and secure for a new load. This is a demonstration of the independent suspension and how it works when it finds an object on the road. In this case, it's a brick. This is for turning, the test, and how the servo moves. And this is the front suspension. And also the back suspension. Many of you have asked me what kind of radio I use. My cheaper one is this one, is the Fly Sky FS i6. I have done with this one, I have modified this throttle with a spring that is sell apart. Is like $4 or $3 to do this modification. And I also, since this one is a 6-channel, I have upgraded the firmware to use the 10 channels. But this radio is super limited to so only few features, like really basic features. And my go-to is this one, is the Radio Master TX16S. And this is like full feature, and it's not that expensive. This is like $200, and this one is only like $45. So these are the two options that I have and I have tested. Of all my different designs, the bulldozer, the wheel loader, this dump truck is the one that is cheaper to build. It doesn't reach $300 with all materials and paint and everything. So if you want to start with one of the projects, I recommend starting with this one because it's the easiest one. I have included all the printable files on the link below. It's a 3D code link. So you can there check the project and it will have all the instruction in a really good, well-designed manual. And also all the list of materials that you're going to need with links and all the instructions step by step, how to print the files and how to assemble it, so you can have a really good experience doing this project by yourself or with another person. I am including also the links for my Facebook group where you guys can ask any questions to the other members of this community and get response faster, either for the other members or for myself also. I would like to say thank you for all your support, and if you really like this video, please thumbs up. It will help the algorithm to bump this video up on the list. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell notification. I will be releasing more upgrades to this model, including more accessories and additional features that you will see in the future. Now that we have seen the features of the truck, let's continue with the assembly instructions and all the process to build this truck. This is the differential part. It's all metallic. And this is the other part that comes from the engine. This one already has the bearings here to fit this way. And we are going to put another additional bearings here. We put this piece on top of this one, and then we can have like an estimation until where we are going to have to thread this part. So this mark has to be a little into this piece. Now with this number 5 threading tool, we create an additional thread now from here to here. Start threading. Okay, we reached the mark, going forward and backward, and now we can take the tool. Now we have the 2 threads created, and the second mark that we had to do is to make a hole on the rod for the wheel nut, and that hole has to be a 4.5 millimeters. from the exterior of the case. The next step is calculate where we are going to trim the rod, and we put the M5 knot, and then when it's a little bit further, we can cut then the rod there. When we reach this stage, we have two options. The differential that is going in the middle, that is going to be two pieces of this one to transfer the power from one differential to the other one, or this one that is only one end for power. And this piece goes here like a sandwich. And then these pieces are going to be here. But we have to pre-fit these bearings inside. To put this piece inside this one, and then this is the active tube. And then we proceed to assemble the differential. Make sure that you have the hole in the active tooth for the drive shaft. And we proceed to connect part of the suspension. Continue with the rear differential. We follow the same steps as the front differential, but this one has two parts, one to receive the power and then to transmit it also. Here we have to attach this part to the assembly, and in the front we have to use this ball joint, plastic ball joint here, that is going to articulate the differential and the suspension. Okay, it's complete. And now we attach this piece to the differential. Okay, with this we finish the middle differential, and then we follow the same steps, and this is the complete assembly for the rear differential. And we have the three ones. For the front chassis frame, we had to press fit all these ball bearings here in this piece and also in this part on the top, and then we assemble the two pieces together with these screws. We have to assemble the stairs with the frame using these screws. This is the side of the stairs connected to the main frame. Now it's time to assemble this anchor for one of the stabilization bar of the suspension. We can now assemble the side panel connecting these two pieces using these screws. Repeating the same steps, we have the two side panels now. We can assemble the side of the frame with the main chassis. And the same procedure to attach the other side. Let's now insert the threaded rod to give more rigidity to the assembly. And then we put some 3mm nuts. Now we assemble these two pieces for the bottom and the engine support. When the piece is complete, we can assemble it to the main frame. The cabin frame is only one piece, 3D printed here, and the door is another piece that I have attached using the thin wire here, so the door can pivot. And also here on the front I have included two magnets, little magnets here to keep down the hood. Now we can connect the roof here on this piece. and the cabin roof and assembly is ready for painting. This is the interior cabin assembly. I still have to decide which colors to use. But here you can see that this is the seat and it's attached to the floor with 2 screws, and then all the console parts and the wheel, steering wheel is attached using these 3 screws here. And then for the assembly after painting, I only have to slide one inside the other one, and that will be the cabin. Also, we have an additional seat here. This seat has to be assembled in this part here before, with only 1 screw. The radiator piece has a spot for the speaker or the engine sound simulator, and then we have to attach this piece over this. The upper piece of this radiator is black, so I'm not going to attach it only after painting it. This is the south part, and I have to paint this one in silver or metallic one, and then this part in black. But they are all attached here with screws, 2 screws, and then this one has a screw here. That's us. For the hook assembly, we have to start with the front of the truck and the lights. And then the other side. Here we have 2 pieces, this one and this little piece here. And what I did is I iron soldering all these 2 pieces together, put some glue. I'm going to use this bundle glassing spot putty to fill all these gaps here. Continuing with the assembly of the bat frame, we have to press fit these 2 ball bearings into these 2 pieces here. And then using some screw connected to the frame. In this stage, we need to start routing the cables and connect it to the motors. So in this case, we solder the cables here and route it to this inner hole here. And then we press feed this bell bearing. These are normal bell bearing here. But then we have to start assembly the part that is going to hold the front chassis with the back chassis. And this part is an M4 threaded rod. And this one is an axial bearing that we have here. So the first thing that we do is we put this axial bearing here inside this part. And then we need to connect this piece here with some screws. Now that we have this assembly here, we will have a place to put the plain needle roller here. It's another bearing, special bearing here. And we have to start assembly this piece that is a pivot point. So on the back part, we are going to put a normal bearing. And in the front part, we are going to put an axial bearing. Axial bearings are good on when they get pressure from top to bottom. But normal bearings are not good on that. Normal bearings are good on lateral forces. So here's the axial bearing here. And this is a normal bearing here. Now we are going to put this is the special planar needle bearing, and it has his place here on this part. We can assemble all this piece here. Now we can use a self-lock nut, or also we can apply super glue here and in the other part on the bottom, so it will not get loose. And we can proceed to tie all this assembly. We can tighten it really good because the axial bearings are good under pressure, so there is no problem in tightening it too much. So there is not any movement at all here. But it's really easy to rotate. Next step is securing the motor with some screws. So we pull the wire here. and then we line these holes with the motor, and then using some screws we secure the motor. Also, we had to put here the anchors for the actuators. And you can see here the details for the wires on the actuators. It is time to assemble the two main pieces for the bed frame, and we do that with 4 screws and 4 nuts. We proceed to assemble the anchor for the bed differential part. This is the assembly now for the anchors on the suspension. This will reinforce also all the bed frame assembly. Give more rigidity. Lastly, we connect the supports for the bucket. Okay, and the piece is ready for painting. For the balance piece for the rear axis, we had to put this bearing. This is a 4 by 7.5 by 3. So we have to press fit this bearing here. One that the two bearing are press fitting, we sand this part, put some glue, and then we secure with 2 by 6 millimeter screws. After gluing these two pieces together and putting the screws, The springs are attached with these 4 little screws here. Of course, I want to paint this one first on yellow, and I want to paint the springs in black. So I will separate this one when I painted it and then assemble it again. You can also choose to have more stronger springs or long if you want the truck to be acting differently in different payloads. But these ones are the ones that I include on the manual. To assemble the plastic joint valves and this threaded rod here, I have provided a 3D printed pattern, so you can follow that and then attach these joint balls here at the end, and that's the assembly. For the wheels, I have chosen these wheels. There are rubber ones with a foam insert, and this is the 3D print ring part. So I'm going to disassemble this, take it, paint it, and then put it back again on the wheels. This is the part for the bucket assembly, and as you can see here, this is only one piece, and I 3D printed this way. For people that have printers that are not able to print in this size, I have split this bucket into 2 pieces right here, and then I have added also a thread rod that you can insert to give it a structural strength and to this part here, and then with the other parts that are going to go here, you give it a more strength. Or if you have a printer that can print this size, this is more than 300 millimeters, you can print it in one go. Now we have to assemble these 2 pieces together. These pieces go with this bump on the exterior part. Now that these supports are in line, we proceed with the ones on the exterior ones. For the gate pivot, we have to press fit this ball bearing here and then attach it in this piece in the bottom. The same way we do it for the other side. And we start attaching the sides to the bucket. Okay, we finished one side of the lateral bucket. We have to finish the other side. Okay, now this assembly is really strong. I have to put the anchors for the actuators. And then this size and bottom part of the bottom. The bucket assembly is complete and ready for painting. These are the pieces for the gate assembly. So this is the lateral left, and then it goes here. And I'm only going to attach a few screws because I want this part to be, the screws I want it to be black. So I'm going to paint it in yellow, and then I'm going to put the other screws. And for the chain, you can visit your local jewelry or hobby store, and they sell these kind of small chains. And you secure it here with a screw. Okay, we have all the pieces for painting. I'm going to paint all these pieces and then continue with the assembly. These are all the pieces already painted. And we can proceed now to the assembly. First, I'm going to start wiring the LED lights and then putting the pieces together. Here we have the circuit for the main two highlights on the front headlights. We have a 47 ohm resistor, and these are two LEDs. So we have an input of 5 volts. And over here we are getting 3.2 volts. Yeah, 3.16 volts. It's good for the LEDs. For the blinky yellow light, we have a resistor of 100 ohms, and we have an input of 5 volts. So the volts that the LED is receiving, it is 2 volts. Here I have completed the lights for the front of the truck, and here you can see all the wiring, and I use these little terminals to connect it to the board. These are the lights for the back part of the truck, the blinking and the stop lights. Those are SND LEDs with thin wires. So the LEDs come in like this. And then I use plastic, thin plastic like this, with some markers. I'm using these markers, but you can use whatever other marks to tint the transparent plastic for this light. And the lights are installed, at least the first side. In this step, we have completed the routing of the wires. They're going over here in this power, then over here. And these are for the LEDs. Is a common positive wire here, and then the other ones are the negative, these ones here, for each light, like reverse and the left and right blinkers, and this one is for the motor. And this is the trailer upper part ready. Now we need to put the springs on these balancing parts for the suspension. Now that we have completed the balancing of the suspension, we have to start with the drive shaft for the two differentials on the back. Now it's time to connect the suspension with the real differential. This part is really important. We have to timing the drive shaft, and the ways that we do it is we choose one of the other one. We choose this part here. It has to be the same in the same turning time that this one here. So it could not be like this. It has to be on the same. Like this. It's correct timing. Also, we need to install these joint arms. This one's go here. Okay, both systems are done, suspension ones, and now we have to attach it to the main frame, the rear frame, main rear frame. Start assembling the differentials with the real chassis. So we have to put two washers here. We have to secure this with M4 nuts and thread lock. We turn it around and we apply the timing also in this drive shaft. This is one of the scale details that I have added, is the bacon light. This is a 3mm tube by 50mm. And then these are 3D printed pieces. And inside I'm going to put a LED light. And over here I'm going to route the cables. So I'm going to take this out and paint it and then put it back. I have here the tube already painted, and now we're going to put the cables inside. And that's the little LEDs there. If this thing focuses. And that's the little bacon light working there. Now we are going to work on the front of the truck. So we need to connect the bumper with these screws. This is a suspension spring that I have selected. They are in the manual and they are a little stiff for the job, but you can modify changing this spring. Or I think also if you cut a little bit, it will get less strong. They goes here. This is the servo that we are going to be using for steering the truck. It's really strong and it's not that expensive. This is the cabin assembly, and these are the roof lights that I have designed following the same principle. These are SMD LEDs, and here are the wires that we have to connect in parallel with a resistor. But first we have to put it here to then route these cables inside. These are the light of the cabin, and these are the wires inside. Now we can proceed to put the windows on the cabin. For the assembly of the filter, we have to start with the exhaust on the top of the filter. Then we can continue with the rest of the filter. Now we have to connect the exhaust and the filter with this piece here. Here we connect only one screw for the passenger seat, and the passenger seat we can rotate it and allow the screw for the filter to be attached to the cabin. Okay, now the filter is attached to the cabin. We need now to install the speaker here with the wire. The way we install the speaker is we put the wire first. And after that, we put the speaker back. And then we align with the holes. We have to assemble the wheels and the interior of the cabin together with the floor of the cabin, like this. For that we're going to use 3 screws here. And before putting this together, I want to glue the windows of the cabin using this glue. This is the way I terminate the wires with connectors. So I use this and this connector and this tool. I first solder the wires. Then I close this part here with the pliers. And then I use my clamping tool. And then we have to slide this inside this one. And then we have the connector ready. We have the cabin already assembled with the wires and the speaker. It's ready to be assembled with the other parts. It is time now to assemble the motor in the front. So we take here the motor. Put it inside, and then we align there with some screws. Now for the pivot point, we have to put a knot 7 millimeters from the top in this thread, and then we have to apply super glue in this ball bearing, not too much. Then we have to insert this one into the differential, front differential, and then screw the ball here. We also have to attach the drive shaft to the front differential. Another thing that we have to assemble with the front differential is this articulated joint. And now we can connect the front chassis with the back, the rear chassis. Okay, here this got a little complicated here. I have to take again the screws and this piece out to have a place to grab this one here and then turn it, and then here hold this nut to tighten it. But another way could be, instead of installing this ball here, put first the screws with the screw with the two nuts, and then finally put the ball and then this part. So it will be easier that way. This is the part where we start installing the handrails. So these two are separated here. We have to either soldering and then continue with the rest of the handrails. It's time now to install the actuator for the bucket. Let's assemble now the cabin with the front chassis. This is the sound and light module already installed here. So these are the lights on the front, and these are the lights on the back, and these ones are the ESC and the speaker here. And here we have the receiver. This one is for controlling the motors here for the actuators. And this one is mini slowed down speed for the turning servo that is here, the steering servo. And this one is the ESC. I had to put the wheels and secure the hook. And check out this working suspension. Full independent. And also in the back with the spring loaded. This is all the electronic. Here I have attached 2 little magnets and other ones here. So then this one can be attached here. This is now the truck. I have adding the handrails here. I had to add the mirrors in this part and in the other side. This is the drive shaft with the differentials. And the actuators. Let's continue now with the assembly of the bucket. This is one side of the gate with all the screws, now black. Now I have to do the same with the other side. To assemble the gate with the bucket, we only have to use these screws and put it through this hole. Before assembling the bucket with the rest of the truck, if you need to adjust the separation between these 2 wheels, if they are rubbing against each other, you only have to come back here and move the length of these joints here, this articulation. So it will modify the distance between these wheels here. it is time to secure the bucket with the bad chassis. Using thin wire from a click, we can cut here to the correct distance. On the mirrors, I'm going to put some aluminum to simulate some mirrors. Just going to cut a pattern here. That's it for this video. It has been a really long video, but I'm glad that I show you all the process and all the features of my project. So don't forget to subscribe and to come back to the channel to check the new features and videos that I'm going to be releasing for this truck and also new projects. Thank you for tuning in and see you on the next time.